Have you ever met someone who changed your life in the most unexpected way? On a warm afternoon in Seoul, little Soo-hyun, a 10-year-old girl with big dreams, set up her small lemonade stand on a quiet street near a local park. She had spent all morning preparing, mixing fresh lemons, adding just the right amount of sugar, and making a small sign that read, "Homemade lemonade, 1001 per cup." She wasn't just selling lemonade for fun. Soo-hyun had a goal. She wanted to buy a special gift for her mother, who had been working tirelessly to support their small family. Every coin she earned would bring her closer to making her mother smile. As the afternoon passed, some people stopped by out of curiosity, while others simply ignored her. Still, Soo-hyun remained hopeful, greeting every passerby with a cheerful smile. Then, something unexpected happened. A man wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses approached her stand. He was dressed casually, yet there was something about him that made him stand out. "Hello," he said kindly. "One lemonade, please." Soo-hyun's eyes lit up as she quickly poured a fresh cup and handed it to him. "That'll be 1001, sir," she said proudly. The man smiled and reached into his pocket, handing her 50,001, far more than the price of one lemonade. Soo-hyun gasped. "Oh no, sir. This is too much. I don't have enough change for you." The man chuckled and shook his head. "No need for change. Your lemonade is worth much more than that." Soo-hyun stared at him in shock. No one had ever been this generous before. She bowed deeply. "Thank you so much. This means a lot to me." The man simply smiled, took a sip of the lemonade, and walked away. She watched him disappear down the street, still amazed by his kindness. Little did she know, that mystery customer was Kim Soo-hyun, one of the biggest actors in South Korea. And what she didn't expect was that he would return the next day, with a surprise that would change her life. Soo-hyun couldn't stop thinking about the kind man who had bought her lemonade. Who was he? Why had he given her so much money? That night, as she sat at the small dinner table with her mother, she excitedly told her about what had happened. "Amma! A very kind man came to my lemonade stand today. He gave me 50,001 for just one cup." Her mother looked surprised. "Really? That's a lot for lemonade. Did he say anything else?" Soo-hyun shook her head. "He just said my lemonade was worth more than that. But he was wearing a cap and sunglasses, so I couldn't see his face clearly." Her mother smiled warmly, patting Soo-hyun's head. "Whoever he was, he must have seen how hardworking and kind you are." Soo-hyun beamed, feeling proud. She placed the money safely inside a small box where she was saving for her mother's gift. With this much, she was closer than ever to reaching her goal. The next day, Soo-hyun woke up early, eager to set up her stand again. Maybe more kind people would stop by. As she arranged her cups and lemons, she suddenly froze. The same man from yesterday was walking towards her stand. But this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him were several men in suits, all carrying large boxes. Soo-hyun's eyes widened in shock. What was happening? The man removed his sunglasses, revealing his face. Soo-hyun gasped. Even though she was young, she recognized him instantly, Kim Soo-hyun, one of the most famous actors in Korea. She blinked rapidly, unable to believe what she was seeing. "Good morning, Soo-hyun," Kim Soo-hyun said with a warm smile. "I came back because I wanted to help." Soo-hyun could barely speak. You know my name?" He chuckled. "Of course. I remembered your sign and asked around. You have a great lemonade stand." The men in suits behind him began placing the boxes on the ground. Soo-hyun looked at them in confusion. "What is all this?" she asked hesitantly. Kim Soo-hyun gestured to the boxes. "Well, I heard that you're saving money for a special reason. So I thought, maybe I could help make your dream come true." Soo-hyun stared at him in disbelief. She had no idea that one simple cup of lemonade would lead to something this incredible. Soo-hyun's heart pounded as she stared at the boxes. What did he mean by helping her dream come true? Kim Soo-hyun knelt down to her level, his warm smile making her feel less nervous. Go ahead, open one, he encouraged. With shaky hands, Soo-hyun reached for the nearest box. She carefully lifted the lid and gasped. Inside, there were brand new lemonade stand supplies, a sturdy table, a bright yellow umbrella, stacks of high-quality cups, and even a beautifully designed banner that read, Soo-hyun's famous lemonade. Her hands covered her mouth in shock. This is for me? Kim Soo-hyun nodded. You work so hard, Soo-hyun. I wanted to help you grow your business. Tears welled up in her eyes. But, why? I'm just a little girl selling lemonade. He chuckled. And I'm just a man who likes lemonade. But kindness deserves to be rewarded. She looked at the other boxes, her curiosity growing. What's in the rest of them? Kim Soo-hyun motioned for the men to open them. As the boxes were revealed, Soo-hyun couldn't believe her eyes. One box was filled with fresh lemons, sugar, and high-quality ingredients enough to last for weeks. Another had a cash envelope, with a note that read, for Soo-hyun's special gift to her mom. Her hands trembled as she picked up the note. She had never told anyone why she was saving money. How did he know? Kim Soo-hyun seemed to read her thoughts. I asked your neighbors about you. They told me how much you love your mother and how hard she works. That's why I wanted to help. At that moment, Soo-hyun couldn't hold back her tears. No one had ever done something like this for her before. She wiped her eyes and looked up at him. Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay you. Kim Soo-hyun smiled gently. You already did, Soo-hyun. You reminded me that the smallest acts of kindness can mean the most. She sniffled and giggled. You really liked my lemonade that much? He laughed. It was the best lemonade I've ever had. Soo-hyun felt her heart swell with happiness. This wasn't just about the lemonade anymore. This was about believing in kindness, dreams, and the power of generosity. What she didn't know was that this was only the beginning of the surprise. Soo-hyun could hardly believe what was happening. She had started the day expecting just another afternoon at her lemonade stand, and now, she was standing next to Kim Soo-hyun, surrounded by gifts she never could have imagined. The small crowd that had gathered nearby began whispering excitedly. Some people took out their phones, recognizing the famous actor. But Kim Soo-hyun didn't seem bothered, his focus remained on Soo-hyun. Then, just as she thought things couldn't get any more surprising, a sleek black van pulled up to the curb. The door slid open, and a woman in a stylish business suit stepped out. She carried a folder and smiled as she approached. Kim Soo-hyun turned to Soo-hyun. I have one last surprise for you. Soo-hyun's eyes widened. Another one? The woman handed her the folder. Soo-hyun, we represent a business group that supports young entrepreneurs. Mr. Kim told us about your lemonade stand, and we want to help. Soo-hyun blinked in confusion. Help? How? Kim Soo-hyun knelt beside her again. This is a small investment. It means you'll have enough money to keep your lemonade stand running for as long as you want. You'll never have to worry about running out of supplies again. Soo-hyun's mouth fell open. You mean I can keep selling lemonade forever? The woman chuckled. Well, as long as you want to. And if you ever decide to do something bigger, this investment will help you take that step. Tears welled up in Soo-hyun's eyes again. She clutched the folder tightly, overwhelmed by the generosity surrounding her. Kim Soo-hyun smiled warmly. Now, there's just one thing left to do. He stepped back and gestured toward her new lemonade stand. Let's open it properly. Soo-hyun wiped her tears and stood up straight, feeling prouder than ever. With the help of the businesswoman and Kim Soo-hyun, she set up her new stand, arranging the fresh ingredients, stacking the cups neatly, and placing the new sign at the front. When everything was ready, Soo-hyun took a deep breath and grinned. She picked up the first cup, poured fresh lemonade into it, and handed it to Kim Soo-hyun. This one's on the house, she said with a giggle. He took the cup and raised it slightly. To Soo-hyun's famous lemonade. As he took a sip, the small crowd watching cheered and clapped, celebrating the little girl who had started with nothing but a dream and now had a future brighter than she ever imagined. Soo-hyun felt like she was living in a dream. The small lemonade stand she had started with nothing but hope had now become something much bigger than she ever imagined. Kim Soo-hyun took another sip of the lemonade and smiled. "Even better than last time," he said playfully. Soo-hyun giggled. "That's because now I have the best ingredients." She pointed at the boxes of fresh supplies he had brought her. The small crowd that had gathered continued to watch in awe. Some whispered about how lucky she was, while others simply admired the kindness of Kim Soo-hyun. A few customers even stepped forward, eager to buy lemonade from the girl who had won the heart of a celebrity. A woman with her young son approached. "Can we have 2 lemonades, please?" Soo-hyun's face lit up. "Of course." She carefully poured 2 fresh cups and handed them over. As she worked, she noticed that more and more people were lining up. The moment had gone viral. People were sharing photos and videos online, and now, everyone wanted to be part of the experience. Kim Soo-hyun chuckled as he watched the growing crowd. "Looks like you're going to be really busy today." Soo-hyun smiled proudly. "That's okay. The more people who buy lemonade, the closer I get to my goal." At his words, Kim Soo-hyun's expression softened. "Your goal? You were saving up for something, weren't you?" Soo-hyun nodded. "Yes. I want to buy a special present for my mom. She works really hard, and I want to make her smile." A warm silence filled the air. Kim Soo-hyun looked at her with admiration. "That's a beautiful reason to work so hard, Soo-hyun." Just then, someone from the crowd shouted, "Excuse me, can I take a picture?" Soo-hyun hesitated. She had never been the center of attention like this before. But Kim Soo-hyun smiled and leaned down. "This is your moment. If you want to take a picture, go ahead." She looked up at him and whispered, "Will you be in it with me?" His smile widened. "Of course." The crowd cheered as the first photo of Soo-hyun and Kim Soo-hyun at her lemonade stand was taken. Within minutes, social media exploded with the story of the little girl who had unknowingly served a celebrity and received the surprise of a lifetime. Soo-hyun didn't realize it yet, but her life was about to change in ways she never imagined. The line at Soo-hyun's lemonade stand continued to grow. People from all over the neighborhood and even beyond were now arriving, eager to buy lemonade from the little girl who had unknowingly served Kim Soo-hyun. Some customers bought just 1 cup, while others handed her extra money, saying, "This is for your mom's gift." Every time that happened, Soo-hyun's heart swelled with gratitude. Kim Soo-hyun stayed by her side, occasionally helping by handing out cups or chatting with the customers. It felt like a festival, full of laughter and excitement. As she worked, Soo-hyun glanced at the small wooden box where she kept her earnings. It was filling up faster than she had ever expected. Then, a familiar voice called out, "Soo-hyun?" She looked up and gasped. Her mother was standing there, watching with wide eyes. "Amma!" Soo-hyun cried, running to her. "Look! I have a new lemonade stand." Her mother looked around, still confused. She had just finished her shift at work and had no idea what was happening. She turned to Kim Soo-hyun and immediately froze. "W8, are you?" Kim Soo-hyun chuckled. "Yes, I am. And your daughter makes the best lemonade I've ever had." Soo-hyun's mother covered her mouth in shock. "I don't understand, what's going on?" Soo-hyun grabbed her hand and pulled her closer. "Amma, remember the man I told you about? The one who gave me 50,000 won? It was him. And he came back today and..." She excitedly explained everything, how he had surprised her with supplies, how people had started coming to buy lemonade, and how she was so close to her goal of buying a gift for her mother. Tears welled up in her mother's eyes as she looked at Kim Soo-hyun. You did all this for my daughter?" He smiled warmly. "She inspired me. Her hard work and kindness deserve to be rewarded." Soo-hyun's mother wiped her tears and turned to her daughter. "My sweet girl, you didn't have to do all this for me." Soo-hyun shook her head. "But I wanted to. You always work so hard for me. I wanted to give you something special. Her mother pulled her into a tight hug. You already did, Soo-bin. Just by being you. Kim Soo-hyun watched the emotional moment with a soft expression. Then, he reached into his pocket and pulled out an elegant white envelope. There's one more thing, he said. Soo-bin and her mother both looked at him in confusion. What is it? Soo-bin asked. He handed the envelope to her mother. This is a small gift. To help you both, so you don't have to struggle so much. Her mother's hands trembled as she slowly opened the envelope. Her eyes widened as she saw what was inside, a check for an amount that could completely change their lives. Soo-bin gasped. What is that? Her mother covered her mouth, overwhelmed with emotion. She turned to Kim Soo-hyun, shaking her head. This is too much, we can't accept this. But he simply smiled. Consider it an investment. Not just in Soo-bin's lemonade stand, but in her future. Tears spilled down her mother's cheeks as she clutched the check to her chest. Soo-bin, still confused, looked up at Kim Soo-hyun. Did I really make that much lemonade? She asked innocently. Everyone laughed, and for the first time in a long time, Soo-bin's mother felt something she hadn't felt in years: hope. Tears streamed down Soo-bin's mother's face as she held the check in her trembling hands. She had spent years working tirelessly to provide for her daughter, never expecting anything in return. And now, standing in front of Kim Soo-hyun, she felt a mixture of gratitude, disbelief, and overwhelming emotion. Mr. Kim, I don't know how to thank you, she whispered, her voice breaking. Kim Soo-hyun smiled warmly. No need to thank me. Soo-bin earned this with her kindness and determination. I just wanted to help in the way I could. Soo-bin, still not fully understanding the depth of the moment, tugged on her mother's sleeve. Amma, does this mean we can finally take a day off together? Her mother let out a soft laugh through her tears. She knelt down and cupped Soo-bin's face. Yes, my love. We can finally rest, even if just for a little while. The small crowd that had gathered around them clapped and cheered, celebrating not just the moment but the beautiful kindness that had brought them all together. Then, one of the reporters who had arrived to cover the scene stepped forward. Mr. Kim, can I ask why you decided to help Soo-bin in such a big way? Kim Soo-hyun turned to the reporter, his expression thoughtful. Because I see myself in her, he admitted. When I was younger, I had dreams too, but there were times when I needed someone to believe in me. Now that I have the chance to help, I want to do the same for others. The reporter nodded, clearly moved by his words. And Soo-bin, how do you feel right now? Soo-bin grinned. I feel really, really happy. And also, I think I need to make more lemonade. Everyone laughed, including Kim Soo-hyun. That's the spirit, he said. But don't forget to take breaks too. Just then, the cafe owner who had partnered with Kim Soo-hyun earlier in the day stepped forward. Soo-bin, I have an idea, he said. She tilted her head. What is it? The man smiled. How would you like to have your lemonade stand inside my cafe? That way, more people can enjoy it, and you won't have to stand outside all day. Soo-bin's eyes widened. Really? Like a real shop? Yes, the owner confirmed. You'll have your own little corner, where customers can order your famous lemonade. Soo-bin turned to her mother, excitement bubbling inside her. Amma! Did you hear that? I'm going to have a real lemonade shop. Her mother nodded, still emotional. Yes, my love. And I'm so proud of you. Kim Soo-hyun smiled at the little girl's pure joy. Looks like this is just the beginning for Soo-bin's famous lemonade. And at that moment, Soo-bin realized that her small dream of selling lemonade had grown into something far greater than she had ever imagined. Soo-bin could hardly contain her excitement. She had started with nothing but a small lemonade stand on the sidewalk, and now, she was being offered a real space inside a cafe. It felt like a dream, one she never even thought possible. She turned to Kim Soo-hyun with shining eyes. You really think people will come to my shop? He chuckled. They already are. And now, even more people will want to try the lemonade made by the little girl with the biggest heart. Soo-hyun giggled, feeling like the luckiest girl in the world. The cafe owner pulled out a small contract and handed it to Soo-hyun's mother. It's just a simple agreement. Your daughter will have her own space in my cafe, and she'll keep all the earnings. We'll help with supplies when needed. Her mother looked at the paper, overwhelmed by how much their lives had changed in just a single day. She turned to Kim Soo-hyun, shaking her head in disbelief. I don't know how we'll ever repay you for this kindness. Kim Soo-hyun smiled. By continuing to believe in yourselves. And maybe, he winked at Soo-hyun. Saving a lemonade for me whenever I stop by. Soo-hyun laughed. Deal. You'll always get the first cup. With that, everyone cheered as the deal was finalized. The very next day, Soo-hyun's lemonade stand was moved into the cafe, complete with the bright yellow sign that now read, Soo-hyun's famous lemonade, as recommended by Kim Soo-hyun. People lined up outside, eager to try the drink that had not only won the heart of a celebrity but had also become a symbol of kindness and hard work. Soo-hyun worked behind her new counter, pouring fresh lemonade with a big, proud smile. Her mother stood beside her, helping with orders, and for the first time in a long time, they felt at peace. Later that afternoon, as the cafe bustled with customers, a familiar figure walked in. Kim Soo-hyun took off his cap and sunglasses, smiling as he approached the counter. I believe I have a lifetime lemonade subscription here? Soo-hyun laughed and quickly poured a fresh cup, handing it to him with both hands. Here you go, sir. Your official VIP lemonade. He took a sip and sighed dramatically. Still the best lemonade in Korea. Everyone in the cafe laughed, and Soo-hyun beamed. Looking around at the joyful scene, the happy customers, her proud mother, and the incredible support she had received, she realized something important. This wasn't just about lemonade. It was about dreams, kindness, and believing in something bigger than yourself. She had started with nothing. But now, because of one simple act of kindness, she had gained a future full of possibilities. And as long as she kept working hard, she knew the best was yet to come. If you've made it this far, type lemonade dreams in the comments.